remember. You can just say it's pelting down, it's pouring down as well. So pouring down is also possible, pour down. But yeah, you can say it's pelting down. Okay, if something freezes up or freezes over, it becomes frozen. You can also say freeze up for when a person freezes. They freeze up. They don't move, usually because they're frightened. So we'd use this one for fear, freeze up. A bit like dry up in the middle of a speech from fear or nervousness. But freeze over would be the river or the lake. Now, if somebody breezes into work, it just means that they come in a really relaxed, confident manner. They breeze into work and they're just really laid back and relaxed and confident. The point about breeze in is that you walk into a room or office with confidence. That's the point. You're really confident. And it's a bit like when you breeze through an exam, which is the same as sail through an exam. If you breeze through an interview or breeze through an exam, it was really easy. You were just really confident and it was easy. You got all the questions right. Okay, we've said that clouds can blot out the sun. It can cloud over, the sun can go in. But in other weather, when it's very cold, in your car, the windows might fog up. They might mist up, they might steam up. And that's when you can write your name in the window if you're like doing that kind of thing. And I think all little kids do. And so car windows, but I mean not just cars, office windows as well can fog up, can steam up. The shower, when you've got the shower on, the window's all mist up, of course. If you freeze someone out of a deal, then that means that you've got some kind of negotiation or deal going on, but you don't want one person to be included, and you freeze that. Windows, there isn't any glass that you can see there, there's just boards instead of glass. So the windows are boarded up or the house is boarded up. If a road branches off, it splits into two. Yeah, sometimes you've got a road that splits into two like that, so the road branches off. But even if it's like that, it still branches off. So we can say the road branches off, but we can also say that we branched off. It's ergative, basically. It's an ergative verb. If you're not sure what an ergative verb is, why not watch my video on ergative verbs? That's probably a good start. Okay, if the police cordon off a piece of road, that means they close off the road. They fence off the road if they use a fence. They seal off the road. So all of those are the same, basically, when you close off or seal off a part of the road. Now, if businesses like cafes are sprouting up everywhere around town, they're going up, they're springing up, it just means they're appearing, these businesses, these cafes, something like that. Now, if you are in the army and you're bombing from your aircraft, you might reduce a town to rubble. You might reduce a village to ashes. But this reduced to can be used with a couple of other excellent collocations. If you are making fun of someone, you might reduce that person to a gibbering wreck. Meaning, I mean, they become hysterical. They really do. If they're a gibbering wreck, it's very strong. So you're doing more than making fun of them. You're really being nasty to them and winding them up and making them incredibly upset if you reduce them to a gibbering wreck. But you can also reduce someone to tears, meaning really upset them. So there are some good phrasal verbs there for when you upset someone to a really great extent. If you say that your garden backs onto your neighbour's front garden, like my one does, this building actually backs onto my neighbour's front garden, it means that the back of the building is it's their garden's on the other side. Yeah, it's the opposite of face. My property faces that way and it backs onto the other property that way. Okay, and if you lay stuff out on the table, you arrange it on the table. So you can lay your books out on the table. You can lay your books out into two piles, something like that. Okay, we're almost there. If somebody cuts in on you, then they butt in. They butt in the conversation. But that's only one meaning of cut in on. Cut in on someone can also mean cut someone up in driving. And that's when somebody suddenly appears right in front of you so that you have to slam your foot on the brakes and they cut you up. And it just means they get right in front of you and make you slow down to a much slower speed. And there could have been an accident. It's dangerous to cut someone up. So please try and make sure you don't cut anyone up. Let me just check it's all working. Good. If you pull out, That means you take your car and put it into a faster lane, yeah, into a faster lane or a bigger road. Pulling out always involves going into a faster lane of traffic. So you can pull out, meaning just literally you're parked and then you pull out into traffic. But you can also pull out onto the motorway, and I would say it like that, pull out onto the motorway. Pull out onto the fast lane or something like that. Pull in, guess what? It's the opposite. When you pull in, you might just be parking your car. So you take your car off the road and pull into a parking space. Notice it's pull into a parking space. So the opposite of pull out, go into a slower lane of traffic. If somebody pulls up outside in their car, then they draw up in their car, and it just means slow down and stop right outside your house usually. It's outside the building that you are in at the time. Somebody can pull up outside the restaurant, somebody can draw up outside the restaurant, meaning roll up basically in their motor. You know, they pull up, it just means they bring their car to a stop outside. Now the police can pull you over if they want to check you haven't been drink driving, or they want to ask you about your speed, or you went over the white line. And you can also say they flag you down. They're basically synonyms. The police flagged us down. But flag someone down does sound like they're waving something, like a stick or something like that. Now you can speed up and slow down. I think they're pretty obvious. Go faster, go slower. You can also pick up speed if you're going faster. If you go over something sharp, your tyre might blow out, and that means get a puncture. Yeah, when you have a flat tyre, your tyre blows out. Blew out is past tense. We've said that you can branch off the road, meaning take the turning on the road, you can branch off, as well as the road can branch off and you can branch off the road as well. So it's an ergative verb, like blow up. If somebody blocks you in, you get stuck in a space because of somebody's very inconvenient parking. And so this happens quite often. Someone blocks you in and you can't move your car out. You are blocked in, you are angry, and you wonder where the other person is so that you can get out. If you rev up the engine, and it's usually the engine, rev up the engine, that means you go vroom, 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 vroom. If you're revving up on a motorbike, you're doing it like that. But if you're revving up in the car, I suppose you're doing it like that. I'm not sure really, because I'm not a driver, but it's when you make that noise of vroom, vroom. If you knock someone over or run someone over, or sometimes you do see knock someone down, run someone down, but I prefer knock someone over, run someone over, that means you actually hit them in the car, you collide with them. And so it's not very nice, and it sounds pretty serious to me, like somebody has been seriously injured, or maybe they're in excruciating pain. Now if somebody stows away in your boat or in your boot, in the boot of your car, it means that they're hiding there for some reason. So maybe they want to get over the border illegally. Maybe they're trying to escape from their own country for some kind of reason. They might decide to stow away on a boat or on a train or on a plane. So this is actually a phrasal verb meaning hide on a form of transport in order to get somewhere without the authorities seeing you. Now, a pile-up is when a load of cars collide in one big accident. So if there's a 20-car pile-up on the motorway, you don't want to go on that motorway because the traffic will be tailing back for about 30 kilometres. So you want to avoid any kind of pile-up, and I hope that you will never find yourselves in any kind of pile-up, because obviously they're very dangerous things to be in. But remember that when you pile stuff up in the office, it just means create a massive pile. So you can pile stuff up in the office as well. You can pile up books, you can pile up bits of paper, documents. And of course, if there is a pile up, that means that the traffic will be tailing back. So we can say the traffic today is so bad, it's trailing back 20 kilometres on the motorway. So that's a very big traffic jam. Okay, that's a load of phrasal verbs. I'll keep doing these lessons because they're very useful for my students, or I like to think that they're very useful for my students, and they're very useful for me because they keep all of this vocabulary swimming around in my head so that it's nice and active and I can use it in most lessons. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching. I hope that's been helpful. Please give the video a like if you've made it this far. I like to think that if you've made it this far, it's probably been in some way interesting. And please subscribe if you'd like to see more videos, because if you subscribe, you'll get them immediately, and you might even be able to get them live. Okay, thanks everyone for watching. Speak to you all soon.